maybe we need to break it down a little bit even further to kind of just explain what a personal brand is. So I'm going to ask my first question to you, Jera. If you could please define in your own words, what is a personal brand?
Yeah, such a good question to start off with, but also like such a big one as well. But like, let's get into it. So first and foremost, a personal brand, I think it's so important because in this current day and age, there are other people out there doing what you do in the same industry as you, perhaps even selling things that are similar to you. So your personal brand is that key to standing out in what might be saturation or a sea of sameness. So the significance is really there. I think when it comes to a personal brand, you hear a lot of things that feel like very intangible to me, if I'm being honest. Like it's your reputation, it's the vibe people get when they think about you, it's how you're perceived. And like, sure, maybe I agree with all of this, but I think that makes it really challenging to understand what a personal brand is because you can't really like grasp it. So when I think of a personal brand, I want to make it as tangible as possible. So if I were to make it tangible as possible, the first thing to start off with is it is really like this multi-dimensional thing. But how do we put labels to those multi-facets and multi-dimensions? First and foremost, there's all these different components. I think one really, all of them are actually very important. But one of the ones I want to start off with, which is quite foundational, is essentially like your expertise and what you specialize in. So it is your niche, your business, your industry, your expertise. Then second, I would say it is your positioning. And when it comes to your positioning, I see three elements within that. So it's your differentiation. So yes, you might be doing something, you might have your expertise, you might have an industry, but what is making you distinct from someone else who might be doing something similar to you? And then within that, within positioning, there's relevance. So how are you addressing your ideal client's problems? How are you helping them achieve certain outcomes? What's the transformation that you guide people to? And then lastly, within positioning, there's credibility. So what's like the evidence or the experience or the stuff you have to like really back up what you do? And sometimes, it takes a little time. Personal branding does take time.
Oh, yeah.
And so that credibility can take time to build up. And then the third really important part is your authenticity. So it's kind of, a little bit of a buzzword these days, but I like to make that tangible as well.
Yeah.
And I really see authenticity as all these components of you. So it's your past, it's the experiences that have made you who you are today, the challenges, the achievements, the pivots, those really pillar moments throughout your life that have led up to this present moment. But it's also the present too, who you are, your hobbies, who you are outside of work, your family, your friends, what you enjoy doing, your values, the lighthearted part of that as well, like the silly, the goofy, the mundane and everyday in between moments. And then there's the professional side of that as well, like your distinct perspective and point of view and philosophy in what you do. So I think the magic of personal branding happens when those three work together. We have your expertise, which is sort of the what and like the raw material and that foundation. The positioning is a little bit more of like the how and the why. And then your authenticity is like the glue that really binds that all together. So that's how it always changes a little bit, but that's how I'm currently defining a personal brand.
So I probably would have just been in Webster Dictionary and came up with some really generic definition of it. But I love the way that you kind of broke that down. Like,